This week on Red Arrow.
We killed a deer with the car.
Red Arrow is brought to you by Buckeye Can. Tools, not toys.
Well, it's late November, and we're heading up to see Tom McCombs at Whitetail Outfitters of Ohio. That's what we do.
See you later, alligator.
See you. I'll be back. We're heading up 64, and the truck just completely shuts down. Seems like when a trip starts out with bad luck, it usually ends up with some decent luck, so hopefully that'll continue. It's done this before, but now it won't let me go over 65 miles an hour, which doesn't allow us to make very good time. So already, we were off to a pretty bad start. So now it's really just gonna quit. Like I'm pushing the gas right now, as hard as I can. I know it's a fuel filter. At one time, it shut down to the point where it wouldn't go over 30 miles an hour. This is aggravating, man. We're never gonna get that right.
It's hard for people to get along.
Because I figured they probably done it.
Josh putting a new fuel filter in. Josh's dad is pretty handy with engines and whatnot, so he's relaying like how we should change this fuel filter. Something should have told us by this point that the trip was it's going to be a little bit of bad luck for a while. So needless to say, we get into ties even later than usual.
What's up, man? Mr. Kit. Nice to meet you.
Well, when we got there, you know, we met Ty, and he gave us a grand tour of the place. One thing you look for in a guide service is past success. You know, Ty used to film for a television show, and he's got just hours and hours of footage off of his place of all these big bucks that he's got.
This segment is brought to you by Blue Ribbon Wildlife, the first name in food plots.
All you serious archers out there, listen up. There's a new product called the Bow Coach. I've been practicing with it all summer, and since I've been using the Bow Coach to help my form, I can't miss. Let's try that deer right there at 60 yards. Man, that's too easy. Let's try that bear at 120. Sorry about your luck, Yogi. There you go, folks. Get you a Bow Coach. You know, that night we didn't get to bed until like 3 o'clock in the morning. So instead of hunting that next day, we just kind of slept in. I shot my bow for a while and got our hunting license, got all that stuff taken care of in preparation for the evening hunt. The first stand he set us up with was a great stand. I mean, we saw a ton of deer. Deer that he had us hunting, I mean, it was a really nice buck. He was coming out 10 minutes earlier every night. So we were hoping if we sat on this stand long enough, we'd get a crack at this deer.
With Longhorn knocks every day, traveling man, most of the town. I like to relax, kick back every chance I get. Lord, I need some peace of mind. Lord, I swear, I've gotta live my life. You can't get it back. I'm just along for the ride.
You know, we saw a bunch of does and saw a few little bucks, but we weren't seeing the shooter that we were looking for. So that night after dinner, Ty broke out some footage of his daughter Shelby killing her very first deer the year before. Watch him. He's gonna go. He's gonna fall. There he goes. He's down.
Oh my dear gosh, dang it.
Good job.
Huh? Look good for your first one?
Uh-huh.
You happy with it?
Yeah.
Put a heck of a shot on it, didn't you?
Yep.
Huh? You did? You mounting your first one?
Mm-hmm.
Where you gonna put it at?
In my room.
In your room.
This segment is brought to you by Muzzy, bad to the bone. This segment is brought to you by Buckeye Can, tools, not toys.
Ty is a guy that really monitors his deer. He's got trail cameras out on just about every stand. The good news is we were seeing a ton of nice bucks and a ton of deer. The bad news is the nicer ones weren't moving till dark. We were really gonna have to get lucky if we were gonna catch one of these big old Ohio bruisers in the daylight. Ty set us up overlooking this great big old turnip field. We hadn't been sitting there long and deer started moving. deer since we've been here. She needs an arrow in her lungs right now.
Well, I used to be foolish, never opened my eyes. Shame on me for standing still.
I look up in the back corner of the field. I just saw a white rat kind of step out of the trees. Turns out it's a really good buck. I mean, he's 200 yards away. That same buck that popped out in the top of the field, he pops out in the corner right beside us. Well, I just had that feeling that this deer was going to come right down this trail and give us a shot. He gets down to where the trail forks, and he takes the high trail. So I snort wheezed at him and immediately got his attention. Yeah, it's post-rut, but he heard that snort wheeze, and his head went up, and he was looking for us, man. When I snort wheezed, he immediately started coming. He just ducked in the woods and like circled downwind of us a little bit. We're watching this footage, and Ty was like, "That's the same deer I shot." And to this point, he hadn't seen that deer. That deer hadn't been visible, and he was just starting to come back out. He hit it with an expandable broadhead, and it didn't get penetration on the deer. It just stopped dead when it hit that shoulder blade. So the deer was uninjured, but this was the same deer that Ty had been hunting all early season. Well, that night we got back to the lodge. Ty had a big surprise waiting for us. Someone had finally drawn blood on this trip, and it was Ty's daughter, Shelby. Shelby's sitting in there with the shotgun rested on a bipod, and she's saying to Ty, she said, "Dad, I'm going to shoot the blind, Dad. I can't shoot him the way I am. I'm going to shoot the blind." And Ty was like, "No, you're fine, you're clear, just shoot him." Shelby put it on this hunting blind. The way that she was aiming, she could see the deer, but she could see that the barrel was just below the lip of the blind. And so when she touched off on this first deer, the only thing she killed was a blind turtle. And it hits the hunting blind, and the bullet, through going through that plastic, it made the bullet hit about a foot high. It goes right over the deer's back. Fortunately, it was early in the evening, and they tried to shake it off and see if any more deer would come out there in the field. What? Dude, what do you think of that? Bring him around here so we can see you. What you got to say?
I killed one.
Second year hunting, second good buck, huh?
Yeah.
Walmart.
This one's pharmacy.
That thing in town.
Bingo.
Kid, you got some nice deer, but what's up with all these names?
Yeah, the foot doctor.
Oh, I got my reasons, boys.
Can we go pick out new curtains tomorrow?
Nah, babe, we can't do it tomorrow. I gotta take my old man to see the foot doctor.
Oh, okay.
Old man tree stand. What can old man do for you?
This segment is brought to you by Under Armour, Athletes Hunt.
Well, it starts to crack daylight out on the field, and it's that time of day when you can't see that good yet. You know, it was a little bit too dark. The footage wouldn't have been that great. So we passed on this pretty nice wide 8-pointer. Well, last morning stunk. We didn't see anything. We saw a whole bunch of turkeys, but we think that's a good thing. This is the last evening we're heading out to the turtle blind. I mean, this really was our last chance. It was the day before Thanksgiving. It was either get it done tonight or we were gonna have a tag salad along with our turkey for Thanksgiving. The wind has shifted to where it would have been blown out in the field. So we went across the field and got in the blind turtle blind. Well, that evening, we hadn't been sitting there long, and a bunch of deer started filtering out into these turnips. I look over to my left, and sure enough, it's the big deer we were looking for. I think it's our shooter. He's down there. He's working his way in, and at this point, it's a race against time because that sun is sinking fast. You know those shows where they build it up almost like they planned it, and they say this is the last evening, and then they kill that big trophy buck in the last second of the last evening. Well, this isn't one of those shows. This old buck made us look like a fool this week, man. I mean, it was like he just knew where to be and where not to be, and he parked his big rear end out in the middle of that field, and he wasn't coming any closer to it. I can't be disappointed in this hunt, though, because, I mean, we got to see. Some days we saw over 100 deer at Ty's place, and it is just an incredible place to hunt. I can't wait to go back next year. I got to say thanks to Ty, thank you Terry, and congratulations Shelby on showing us how to get it done in Ohio. blizzard of 09. Oh, God. You want to go get my dough? Alright, Red Arrow fans, grab your cell phone and text ARROW to 30997 and you could win this week's Buckeye Cam prize package. You'll also be entered to win the grand prize of an Apollo XIR infrared trail camera. So what are you waiting for? Text ARROW to 30997 now. It's just 99 cents per entry and standard messaging and data rates apply.
Red Arrow TV is brought to you by Buckeye Cam, tools, not toys. Old Man Tree Stands, superior huntability. PSE Archery, experience, performance. Muzzy, bad to the bone. Under Armour, athletes hunt. Blue Ribbon Wildlife, the first name in food plots. Keys Hunting Gear. Proas. Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Quality Archery Design. TrueFire. Hips Archery Targets. Food Saver. Vanish Camo, vanish in the wild's eye. The Huntin' Shack Archery Center and huntinshack.com.
We killed a deer with the car.
I was asleep.
I was asleep too, that's why I hit it. We'll do a recovery real quick.
Also, when you meet a police officer that hunt,
Because then you get deer jerky. See? Yeah. I can't do nothing with Ohio, man.
That's a nice kill, though.
I can't do meat in the freezer anyway. I was asleep too, that's why I hit it.